want to welcome you all to this amazing session of Power BI dashboard. So we are going to be designing a dashboard, but we need to look at the critical things that needed to be solved before jumping into dashboard design. This video is going to be a 40-minute video that is going to guide you step by step on how to design a dashboard or how to create a Power BI dashboard. So it's going to be ranging from cleaning data using Power Query on Power BI, and then I'm going to also teach you on how to design a wireframe on PowerPoint, and I'm also going to teach you on how to design a dashboard, right? And most importantly, we also need to learn on how to download our data set from Kaggle. So before we proceed, you all are welcome to this amazing session. So let's proceed and download our data set from Kaggle. So we want to work on Power BI dashboard concerning the healthcare system. So let's quickly move to a particular site called Kaggle. So we have a site that we call Kaggle data site. So we are going to download a particular data set that's relevant to healthcare system. So we are going to type healthcare. We are going to search for healthcare. So when you search for healthcare, you come to this one. We are going to be using this healthcare data set, right? So we are going to download, but before you click on the download, this is the download. Before you click on it, you need to understand what the data set is actually talking about, right? You need to understand what it's talking about. So when you come down here, you will discover that he's saying that this data set consists of 10,000 records and each represents a synthetic patient's healthcare. So when you read all through that, right, so the data set is intended for educational and non-commercial use. So it is entirely synthetic and does not contain a real patient data set. So those things are what you need to understand. It's called a metadata, right? So you can expand everything and you tend to understand what is inside, right? So I wouldn't want to waste much of our time. Look at it saying that the view is 558,000 people view, and we have 31.5 thousand in the last 30 days. The download, people that have downloaded this data, there are 110,000 engagements, right, per view, and this is the comments so far. So you can see top contributors. You can see a lot of things is happening here. So let's quickly download our data set since we don't have much time to waste. Let me not say that. So, or let me not say to waste. We don't have much time. Yes, we don't have much time to waste. So the data set is actually there. So I'm going to open the data set. So after opening the data set, this is the data set, right? So we have the data set here. So when I open it, it's going to open into my Excel, but it's actually a CSV data set, right? So it has opened into my Excel. The data set has opened into my Excel, and these are all the information that we have in the data set. These are all the information that we have in the data set. So you can see here we have the name, we have the age, we have the gender, we have the blood type, medical condition, the date of admission, the doctor that actually treated that particular patient, the hospital, the insurance that pay the bills, right? So the billing amount, the room number, the admission, the discharge, the medication, and the test record, right? These are the test record. So what do we want to do here? We want to see, you can see that we have the billings amounts, right? So we have the billings amounts. So we can tend to answer critical questions around this particular site, right? We can tend to understand some questions around this site. But we need to understand the kind of question that we want to answer, right? Let me see, ChatGPT. So we can try to understand some questions like that is why as a data analyst you must possess some soft skill, analytical skills, problem solving skill, and strong communication skill. So these are the skills that you really need when you want to venture into data analytics. And of course, you need emotional intelligence. Those things are what you call soft skills, right? So now look at, we have names, right? We have the names of people. So we can say that our KPIs can be count of names of people, right? We can do the count to know the total number of patients, right? So we can know the count of patients. So what about the medical these medical conditions, right? So we can say that, okay, let's see the medical condition compare to the count of people. We want to know the people, the count, the number of people that have cancers, the number of people that have obesity, right? We can also know the medical condition versus the billing amount, right? So we can also try to know that. So another thing is that we can also show insight about the admission. It's talking about here, it's talking about the admission date, right? So it's talking about the admission date. So we can also generate an insight from there to know the people that the admission date, admission type. So we can know the kind of how strong, or let me say the admission type. Maybe it is urgent, maybe it's emergency, maybe it's elective, and so on and so forth. So we can compare it to the amount, and we can also compare it to the count, you know, the people that are urgent. So all these things are insights that we are going to generate. So the test results, we are going to use the date, we are going to use the test results, and the medical condition as our filter, right? So these are the three things that we are going to use: the test record, the medical condition, right? And we also make use of the what? The we also used we use the admission we use the test results. We are going to use the medical condition, and we also use the date. We are going to use the date for our filter. So they call it slicer in Excel and in Power BI. So we call it slicers. So since our dashboard is going to be a dashboard that is going to be very, very interactive, so those are the things that we are going to do. First thing, let's launch this our healthcare data set into our Power BI. Let's first launch it, right? So let's launch it. So I'm going to open my Power BI, right? So when you click on Power BI, you click on this blank report, right? So if I click on the blank report, it brings me to this place. So you can see that our data set is actually a CSV. So I'll click on this, get data from other source, right? So it takes me to this place. Then I click on this test/CSV. So I'll click on it. So it takes me to the source where my data set is actually is. If I connect it, so it takes me to the source. This is the healthcare, right? Then I'll open it. So after opening it, it's continuing to load into my Power BI. So you can see that it's loading. Can see that it's loading. So it loads into my Power BI. So I'm not sure whether the data set is well clean or probably is having issues. So I'm not sure. So I need to click on this transform data. I need to click on the transform data. So when I click on the transform data, then I'm going to click on this transform data. Then it's continuing to load into my Power Query because I want to clean the data, right? So it continues to load into my Power Query. This particular place, we call it apply step, or because the Power Query does not have what is called Ctrl+Z to go back, right? So, but we make use of the apply step. So every steps that you take here, you can easily cancel it. So the moment you click on this place, it cancels, right? But I wouldn't want to do that. So it's better we leave it this way since we just want to clean a particular data set. What we want to do here is that we want to clean our data. But first thing we need to check what is really happening to our data, right? So you can see each columns, it has its own its own values. So they all have their own values. So we need to check the data type of each. This one is a test result, is ABC, right? So all these are string and it's really making sense. So everything are they all align to their own data set. Even this billing, it's all aligned to his own data set, right? So you can do a lot of things here. But when you check, I think there are two things that we need to look here. So this particular column called names, you can see the way the names are written, right? So we need to checkmate it. And the second thing is that we need to also check if there are duplicates, right? So first thing, let's check if there are duplicates so that we can remove those duplicates. So what we need to do, you just click on this particular one here, name. Click on it and hold your shift down. Then just come to this last part here and click on this test result, and everything gets highlighted, right? So now we want to remove duplicate. Let's see if there are duplicates. So you come to this your home, right? So you come to this remove row, right? So when you click on the remove row, you'll be able to see remove duplicates. So we'll click on the remove duplicates and it tells you that duplicate has actually been removed. But you know, if it is in Excel, you'll be able to see the number of duplicates that have been removed. But this is a way of removing duplicates, right? This is just a way of removing duplicates. So now let's try and change this name to to a proper format. So when you click on the name, right, come to this your transform. When you come to transform, you will see format here. Click on the format and see capitalize each word, or you can put it in uppercase. So let's use capitalize each word, right? So we can use capitalize each word. So since they have both their surname and their own name, right? Or we can say that they have what is called the last name and the first name. So let's just say capitalize each word. So these names have actually been transformed to a proper case. And I don't think there is anything else to do here. So when you check everything, there's nothing here to do. Every other things that we'll be needing to do, maybe we want to add currency, a dollar currency, because this is a dollar, this is a United States data set, right? So the dollar currency, we can easily do that on the Power BI session. So we can come to this home now, then we click close and apply. We click on close and apply. So everything will automatically synchronize, right? So let's apply the changes. So everything is going to load into our Power BI. So it's going to load into our Power BI. You can just wait a little while everything loads. So this session is we need to come back to this place. This is our data view. So you'll be able to see all the things that are in the data view. So what do we need to do here? So we have what is called KPI, key performance indicator. So the KPIs are actually a particular stuff that makes that quickly help you to see insight into the business, whether the business is performing or not, right? So but this is an healthcare data set, not a sales data set. So let's see what is going on. So this billings amount is money, right? So we can actually know the total sales or the total amount generated by the hospital, right? So we also have age. We can actually know we can get average age, right? The average rate. So we also have what is called the count. We can know the count of the unique count or the distinct count of all the people that comes to the hospital to receive treatment. So all these things are what we need to understand before diving into our dashboard, right? So we need to know that. So we also need to know that, okay, so we want to, what are the things? We can just do maybe a little comparison, right? Since it's just a 40-minute video. So we want to compare the hospital that makes highest revenue. So we are comparing hospital to to compare hospital to the billing amount. We also want to know gender, the gender, they call it gender distribution, right? So the gender towards the count of those people. So after doing the count, then we can also know, compared to gender, we want to know if men are the one that is being affected most or is women, right? So we also need to know that. So we also need to compare the doctor that actually generated or that treated the highest number of people or the highest number of patients, right? So we can also know that. Or we can also say that we want to know the they call it the insurance provider that make higher sales. So insurance compared to those things. So let's just take a look at 4 things, right? So we can just take a look at 4 things. So, and then we just see what we can do about that. So now let's come and check, right? So we have let's take a count. We have the total billings, we have the count of people that is being discharged, right? So we also know that, okay, what else can we also think of that can actually give us a better insight, right? So we for me, I always try to go into ChatGPT to derive a wonderful insight. I used to go there to derive an insight, right? So I used to go there to derive an insight. So for this case, let's first thing, let's come and do something very wonderful. So look at this, my download. There's what we call wireframe. Look at this wireframe. Take a look at this picture. So I believe you can see the picture now, right? So this is exact something that we want to do. So in this session, we'll have all our KPIs, right? And here we are going to have what is called our slicers. And here we have the shapes that we are going to be putting. So we want to design exactly something like this on our what? On our PowerPoint. So first thing, you need to go and get idea first from what is called Pinterest. So if I search for Pinterest here, so it takes me to this place, and I can easily come here and see Power BI dashboard, right? Wireframe or anyone that you want. So you can say design or you can say inspiration. So a lot of things is here. So Power BI inspiration. Let's check Power BI dash design inspiration. Let's use inspiration. So you can see that everything start loading, and then you can easily get a better inspiration or insight from here, right? So you can get insight from here. So this is exactly a place where I got my own insight. So this also is like a wireframe, right? So this also is like a wireframe that you can actually use also from there. So this is a place where I got my insight. So now let's proceed and design our dashboard. Let's see. I'm going to teach you on how I actually got this inspiration. So now let's delete this one. Let's also delete this, right? So first thing, there's a particular site that you can actually check. There's a site that you can actually check to get this inspiration. So there's a place that we call imagecolorpicker.com. Try and go there. imagecolorpicker.com. So this particular site will help you to quickly pick your color, right? So, but because we've already had our inspiration, I will just click on use your image, right? So I'll click on this image. So I have my image here, and I'll say open, right? So whatever I'm touching here will also be reflecting here. So it will also be reflecting here. So if I touch this one now, it gives me color. So this one, it gives me this color. And you know those colors that we actually have. So this first one is this color, right? So which gives us this particular hex 2E3654. So I'll just copy it. So after copying it, then I'll come back to my PowerPoint. So what do I need to do? I can just change this particular image, right? So I'll come to a particular place that we have background. So I'll come to insert this particular background. Where's my background? It's my background. Okay, I'll click on this particular place called design. So I'll click on this one. So you will see browse for themes, saves themes, and so on and so forth, right? So you can use any of it. You can use any of these for your background, but I wouldn't want to use any of it, right? So I'll just click on this format background. So when I click on the format background, you'll be able to see a lot of color, right? So I'll click on this color, then I'll click on more colors, right? Then you will be able to see how you can edit this custom. If you change to this custom, then you'll be able to edit something here. Control V. I'll just paste that one that I copied from that particular site. Then I will say okay. So and my background will come to normal. So I can also select again. I will select this particular shape, this particular rectangular shape. Then I'll draw the shape like this, right? So I'll draw the shape like this to this point, right? So I can draw the shape to that point, right? So this is how my dashboard is going to look like. So I need to also change the color. So you can go back to that particular site. So you will touch this one here, right? Then you'll be able to copy that particular code and you come back here again, you change the color of this one. So just click on this one, then click on more color and drop it here also, right? Control V, then I will say okay. So you can see that it's becoming cool. It's becoming cool, but we need to say we don't want the line. I don't want any line, so I'll click no line so that everything can work fine for me. So now what next? The next thing is that I need to divide all my charts. Like I said, I'm going to have 4 charts and how many I'm going to have 3 KPIs and 4 charts. So I will design my KPI. So let's try and insert this particular shape. Insert, then I'll click on this shape, then I'll click on this other one here. So I'm just going to insert my shape around this side, right? So since I need 3 shapes, so remember we are using this particular color. So I need to design this color for myself, right? So I can just move this one here a little. Then while I'll come back to this, my designing template, then I'll click this one back, right? I'll copy it again. Then I'll come back here. What is the shape? So just click on this color, click on more colors, right? And put it here. Control V, then I'll say okay. So you can easily come back here and change so many things that you want to change. Maybe you don't want any line, right? So you can see, so there won't be any line. So what if you want to put maybe a little bit of shadow effect? You can come here, you will see the glowing, you can put a shadow, whichever one that you want to put, right? So you can do a lot of things here. So let's just put that particular shadow, right? So that is it. So when you click on this, you will see a reflection of that shadow. So it might not really be clear to you, but you can come back to, you can just try and do a lot of things here, slide background, but we don't really have much time to be doing all that. So let's just be satisfied with what we have here, right? So let's just be satisfied with what we have here. So now we have this particular shape. I can copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and move this one here, right? So I can also Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and also move this one here. So I have this wonderful chart. So I can copy all this one, right? So, but before I copy, let me try and demarcate something here. Let me try and demarcate something here. So I'll come to this shape, then I'll bring this particular shape here to divide my chart here. Right, so I can pick the bolder one here, then I'll choose the color of my outline. Remember, there's what we call color consistency, right? So as a data analyst, you must be very good with your color theory. So I'll do that here. Try and move it a little so that everything can align very well. So don't mind me if I'm not really straight in writing line. So I think that one is better. So I'll copy this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. This is where I want my slicer to be. So I'll just drag this one here. So my slicer can be around this side. So what about the shape? So I can easily bring the shape inside this particular place, right? So let's draw another shape and put here. So I'll come back to this. I can as well copy this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, right? So you can change your shape, whatever shape that you want to put. You yourself, you can do that and it makes sense. So let me just draw this one up a little, right, where I want, so that I can have enough space to do a lot of my design. So I have something like this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, right? So I bring it here. So let me just draw this one to this point here so that I don't waste space. Okay, so I can also bring this one, right? Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I'll bring it here also. I have a better stuff here. So I can try to bring this one a little bit so that I can have enough space for my design, right? So I'm trying to do a little bit alignment, right? So, and this really makes sense. So I can actually make use of this since I'm going to be having 3 KPIs and I'm also going to be having 4 charts. So now I need to put all my write-up here, right? So I'll come to insert, then I'll pick on this particular, what's that? Insert, then insert a text box, then I'll bring it here and I'll continue to write my statement that hey let's say right, welcome back, right? So this really makes sense. So I can bring this one, let's just copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and put it here and call it Aberdeen, let's say Creed Aberdeen, right? So we have something like this. I can easily bring it to this side, right? This is just like a simple design. So I will come here, I can insert a particular lines under it. It's just like a design to show professionalism, right? So I can just do a line here. Then that line, I can color the line to be maybe red, right? So, or can pick this. So let me just pick a color that will show very well. So I can make it bigger, right? And choose a color that will be able to show very well. So Ctrl C, Ctrl V, I'll also copy it and I'll put it on this aberdeen here. Remind me. So for me, I like to be a designer. So you can see that it's really making sense. So what about here? So I can bring this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring it here and I'll call it my dashboard, right? So I'm going to bring this one here to Z, right? So this is what I want. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Can call this one analysis. Just have some minutes more. Call this one analysis. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then I'll call this one maybe my data. So I have something like this, right? So I have something like this and it makes sense. So you might decide not to put a logo, or if you still want to put a logo, it is also cool, right? So you can just draw this one down and come to this place and be able to put a logo of your choice. So when you come to, you want to insert logo now, you come to this place, so it loads, and then you'll be able to insert a logo of your choice. Maybe some icons. You can just put some icons, right? So I can just decide to put an icon, maybe this particular icon, right? So I can insert that icon. Then I'll color the icon graphics field is white, right? So I'll just bring it a little. Can just put it here for designing sake. So we are done with this, and then what next? I'll just come to my home, then I will save it. I can save it to my download. I'll save it to my download. Where's my download? Right? So I'll save it as this PowerPoint. Where is my picture portable network graphics? Then I'll save it as that. Yes, just this one. So you can see that it is saved. So let's now come back to our PowerPoint, our Power BI. So we pick this one, right? So we pick that. Then we can say Canva background. Then we choose it from here. We click on that this presentation, the one we designed that time. Then we can say, just try and drag this one to 0 so that your this background can show very well, right? So we can now start putting maybe our charts and writing some of our DAX, right? So like I said, we want to know the total admission type, so we can write a little bit of DAX here. So now let's write DAX. So if I click on this, let me say the patient, maybe the number of patients, we can do count of, right? So we can remember we have removed duplicates, and nevertheless you can still use distinct count, right? But it depends on what you are counting as a distinct. So if you open this your Excel, you'll be able to see name. So it is mandatory that we don't have names that are written in the same time. So we can use the count names, distinct count name, right? So now let's see, do we have name here? So we have name here, right? So you can now come to your modeling and then you click on this. Right? So you can easily write your DAX. Where's my DAX? can say count of patients, or you can say total patients. Total patients, which is equals to distinct count, right? This data set we are using is actually names. Names. We are using this name. So you close brackets and hit enter. We are doing that is because so that by the time we are picking our chart, everything can align very well, right? So that is why we are writing that. So what is the age? We have average age, right? So we also have average age. So let's see that. When you click on the modeling, then you click on this menu, and then you say average age, which is equals to average, right? So you click on the age here and you hit enter. So you'll be able to get the average age. So what about the amount, the billing amount? So if I click on this billing amount here, right? So you can easily come to modeling and you write a simple DAX that you have total billing amount. So you have equals to, then you write your DAX sum of, pick this sum, and you write the billing amount and you hit enter. So those are the three KPIs that we are going to be using. So you can just come back to your home here, right? So come to this, then you click on this card visuals. So those are the card visuals that we want to use, right? So you can just click on the card visuals and then you click on this total billings. Total billings. So the total billings is showing as 3 million as a total billings, right? So it's showing as 3 million as total billings, right? So, and then we can put it around this side, but we need to do something amazing here. So you can see that our chart is here already, right? So we don't need much things to do here, but we need to ensure that we don't have background around it, right? And also ensure that the black is now showing as white. So I'll come to this place, we just do one, the color palette, everything here is going to be white, right? Then we bold it. What about the display, right? The category label. So we can color that one to be maybe white also, right? So we don't need much things. So now we need to come to this general. So when you click on the general, the effect, you click on the effect, you'll be able to see background, then you turn the background off, right? So that everything can fit into what you want here. So you can see that we have something meaningful around this side, right? So you can just copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, you bring it to this side, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, you also bring it to this side, right? And you start naming this one. So let's come here. We don't need total billings anymore, but what do we need? We need total patients, right? So what about this one? We don't need total patients anymore, total billings, but we need average number of patients. So, and this really makes sense, right? This really makes sense. You can see we have something meaningful to talk about here. So this is just a design. Now let's now try and fix other things around this side. So you can click on this, right? You can click on this. So you can explore a lot of things on your own anyway. So we want to know the top 5. Let's look at this particular hospital, right? The top performing hospital. So I'll click on the hospital, then I'll also click on the billing amount, right? So I can come here, Then I'll click on this hospital, change this one to top 5, top N, change this one to 5, or you can say 4, right? Let's use 5. So we use 5. The billing amount, you drag it to this place and then you applied it, right? So you'll be able to have something to tell. Be able to have something good to tell. So you can see let me drag this one a little. So remember this background, you can just click this painter and drop it around this side so that all those things will not be showing here, right? Because we don't want any shape, but we need to, the other shape, we need to also do it, right? So we need to change all those other things here. So now come here, you will see on the general, remember we want to know top 5 hospital bills, right? Top 5 hospital bills. So this place, then we are going to change this title and say top 5 hospital bills. Top 5 hospital bills, right? So you hit your enter. So it has already changed. Don't worry, we change the color back. The color is going to be white, right? Top 5 hospital bills. So what about the when you come to the visual, you'll see x-axis, change it to white, right? So what about the x-axis? You also change the color back to white. It's talking about the value here, change it back to white. So we might not need to do a lot of things at the end of the day, right? So what about the color label? You need to put the color label also, right? So you need to put the color label also. Remember, we have removed the background, right? We have removed the background, so every other things might not count. So, and this is really making sense. This is really making sense. So we can copy this one and also put it here, right? So when you put it here, you have to change the chart, right? So you have to change the chart. So let's see, you can remove this other one here. We don't no longer need it, or you can just hide it. And then instead of the hospital now, what do we want to also, the medical condition can be around this side, right? So the medical condition can be this side. We want to also know the top 5 can only filter one top N. So we need to remove this other one here, right? So we need to remove this other one here. So let me take away this and we drag back the billing amount to this side, right? The hospital, let me remove that one. So I will just have to take back the we done the hospital, the medical condition back to this side. I think it's already there. So the what again? Let me remove it from here. So I'll take back the billing amount to this side. Then why I change this one to 5 and I apply it, right? So it should be able to show something meaningful. Can remove it anyway. So because we need to do new things so that we'll not waste much of our time. So let me bring this new one here, right? So we click on the billings. We also click on the what again? The medical conditions. So you can see the medical conditions. So this billing, then I'll bring this filter to top 5, right? Then while I drop this billing to this by values, then I'll apply the filter. So I'll be able to drag it a little bit from this side. So you can see these are the top 5, and you can just replicate what is here. So you can change it to top 4 anyway, because of can change it to top 4. You can also change this one to top 4. These are the informations that we just want to see, right? So just come and click this format painter and drop it here, so that everything can also replicate in this side. So now what next do we want to do? We need to edit this name, right? This particular name here. When you come to general, you'll be able to edit this name, billings by medical condition. Billings by medical condition, right? So you have that billings by medical condition. So if you notice, you will see that the chart is having something like background, right? So you can also remove that you don't want anything like grid line, right? So you don't want anything like grid line. You don't want any grid line. So let it just be pure. So now what next do we want to do? We will soon round up. So we just need to add another 2 charts, maybe a particular pie chart that shows between a male and a female, right? So the percentage of a male and a female, the count, we want to know the count this time around, right? We want to know the count this time around. So I'll click on this gender, right? So and I'll click on the names. So let's see. So it's not showing. Just want to know by filling. So let's see what we did. We did total patients. We have done the count of patients, right? So let's do that. So you can see that it's now showing here. So I can just come here, click on this one and drop it around this side. So and everything populates, but you can still see that I still need an images. So that is when you will now come back to the slicer settings. The slicer setting is okay, right? It's okay, but we still need to do some slices. You can change the color if you want to change the color of the male and female, but the color is okay, so we don't need to change anything. So just come to the general here, and then the title, patient by gender, right? So we don't need the total there, just say patient by gender, right? So but this particular place, you can see that the color is still very lighter, so people will not be able to see it, right? So the data, when you come to this visual and you see the data label, right? So you see this one here, so you can put it in percentage of the total only, right? So we might not need to put a lot of things here. So we have all this, right? So it's fine. So let me see this test. So let's put it in color white. So this is fine. So what next do we also want to show? What inside do we also want to show? We want to show another wonderful insight. Maybe insurance by, we want to know the insurance that actually by money, let's say by our billing amount, or insurance by count of total patients. So all those things are what we can also put there. So let's put that one here, and then we can just pick this, right? So bring it here. Then we say that insurance by count, right? So let's know the insurance that actually filling up patient the most. That are filling up patient the most. So you can see a lot of insight here that these are the insurance company filling up the most people. So we can say we can rename it. When you come to this general, you will see the rename here, right? So you can see the name here is insurance provider by number of patients. Insurance provider versus number of patients, right? So which that one is fine. So we can just copy this one and then we drop it this place so that everything can automate without wasting our time. So you can see the wonderful things we are doing here, right? So, and the last thing that we are going to do here is to put our, they call it slicers. So we have maybe two slicers. We have in a date slicers, and also we have what is called, we want to know the particular, maybe let's just say that we want to know, we've done, which one is this? Hospitals, right? So we did hospitals. We also did medical conditions. So we can say that we want to know by gender. So we did gender already here. So it will not be advisable to put gender anymore as our slicer. So slicers are the informations that when we are clicking it, everything is going to be revolving around, right? So we have done insurance providers. So what do we think we can put here? So let's say that we want to put the test result. Let's put the test result as our slicers. Sorry, Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z. So let's put our test results. So we want to see the people, maybe these people are normal or abnormal. So all those things. So we can easily drop this one here, right? So we come here, or we can just click on this one, drop it here, right? So while you come to this place and change these slicer settings, the value, can change the slicer value to which color white, right? So what about the header? I think the header also was there. Slicer header, you might remove that slicer header and you might put it, right? So it's just like a test result. So can just remove it. That one doesn't really speak much, right? So you can bring it to this side and then you come to this particular place here. Cut. So you can as well remove these particular lines if you don't want it. You can remove that line. So how do you remove the line? Just come back to this our slicers border, right? And then you change it to maybe white if you want. So the background of our slicers is not indicated. So you can see, so we have all this. So we need to know the test type. We need to put a particular word called test type, right? So we can come here. You see the general, you turn on the title and you call it text type. Text type. So the text type, the color, you need to change it back to white, right? So this slicer is okay. So we also need another slicers that is called the date slicers. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, right? So we bring that one to this place and we call it date. Date. We can call it date, right? We can call it date or years. We can call it years. And then we change this test result, then we change it back to the admission date or maybe the start date, right? So depending on the date that you want. So if I come back here, you'll be able to see the date around this side, right? So bring back the date here, admission date. Just need to change it to the year. Date hierarchy. So I don't need all these ones here. I don't need the quarter. I don't need the month. I only need the year to be showing. So that's why I decided to select date hierarchy. So you can see this other one, I can still move it up and then bring this date hierarchy to this point so that I can have enough dates here, right? So now look at how it works. So when you click on this this abnormal, you'll be able to see that every of your data is what is moving. So when you click 2019, when you click 2020, and everything's continue to work like that. And that is all about how to design a responsive dashboard. That's how to design a responsive dashboard. So you can see that we did not make it complex. We did not write too much tax, right? So this is a wonderful dashboard, right? So when you are done, you can just probably just take a screenshot, Ctrl Shift S to just take a screenshot from here, right? Ctrl Shift S, sorry about my keyboard. Can just take a screenshot from here. So this is actually blocking me. It's not allowing me to take a proper screenshot. So that is all about designing a responsive dashboard. Thank you for watching.